Hello everyone and welcome to Shell Point Today for Wednesday, September 28th. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. Thanks for joining us for today's program. Coming up, George Waters will discuss his Coffee with a Neighbor presentation on videography in Cuba. Ruth Deuber and David Lee will bring us another What's Cooking installment. And fitness coordinator Ingrid Oliver will talk about the upcoming Zumba classes.
But first, we want to remind you of a spectacular outing coming up this Friday. It's the Cirque du Soleil show OVO. OVO presents the colorful ecosystem teeming with life where insects work, eat, crawl, flutter, play, fight, and look for love in a non-stop riot of energy and movement. Come enjoy this fascinating take on the hidden, secret world at our feet, as depicted in this fabulous show. Enjoy the athleticism, costumes, acrobatics, and more. Court pickups begin on the island at 6 p.m., and the cost of the adventure is $75. Make sure you sign up at either service desk.
We have a couple of volunteer positions that you may be interested in. Shell Point Golf Tournament volunteers are needed for the November 11th's big event, as well as volunteers for the Holiday Bazaar on November 4th and 5th. For more information, contact Beth Crenshaw at 454-2290.
The next Coffee with a Neighbor event will feature George Waters of Palm Acres. He recently went to Cuba and has plenty to share about his experience. What he did on a missions trip there teaching videography to others. Here's George now along with Terry Kolath.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath. I'm here today with George Waters. We're talking about the next Coffee with a Neighbor in the Academy of Lifelong Learning, and George is our presenter. The topic, teaching videography in Cuba. Hi, George.
Hi, Terry.
Well, you were one of the first to get there, weren't you?
Well, it was good to be there, yes, for sure.
Oh, and right off the bat, we were changing relationships with Cuba and off doing mission work. What was here about Cuba? It seems like it would have been a little bit challenging to go to Cuba.
It was. I felt very apprehensive about going to Cuba as being a retired Air Force officer that served during the Cuban crisis. I was a little apprehensive about going into Cuba.
Sure.
And but I must say that my expectations for Cuba were way too low. What I found in Cuba was significantly different than what I had anticipated.
Sure. I think it probably would be for all of us. We have these images, except the cars. Tell me the cars, were they really cool?
They were really, really cool.
I bet they were.
The old buildings, the Art Deco buildings, and the classic cars. For someone who grew up in the 50s and 60s, those were magnificent.
That's wonderful. Well, I know you did this as mission work. How did that come about?
Well, we were invited to go to Cuba to teach at a seminary, an evangelical seminary called Los Pinos Nuevos, the New Pines Seminary, to teach their staff to record their presentations and their classes, put it on DVDs and flash drives so they could distribute it to churches to teach them theology for the members and the pastors who could not afford to go to seminary.
Oh.
The two things that are the most expensive in Cuba are food and transportation.
Interesting.
And when you make $20 a month on average, it's difficult to travel. And so this is an attempt to give them advantage. One thing they do have on their DVD players is a USB port, which we don't have on ours normally. And so they could play a USB or a DVD on most of their DVD players.
So you actually filmed these presentations that are going to be sent all around Cuba?
We were teaching the people to do that.
Oh, so like a teach a person defense, right? And then they can
right, exactly.
Wonderful.
The seminary has been in place since 1928, except for 5 years after the revolution. It was closed. But it's back open, and while we were there were classes and presentations going on with 60, 65 people.
How interesting.
Yeah.
That's going to be a wonderful story to share with us.
Thank you.
And now it's time for another installment of What's Cooking. Let's head over to David Lee's place where Ruth Deuber joins him in the kitchen for another delightful culinary creation.
Hi, it's What's Cooking at Shell Point, and I'm David Lee.
And I'm Ruth Deuber, and today David is going to do some cooking for you. I've been very anxious to see what he comes up with because they're a little more unique than mine. So, David, this is your show. You go right ahead.
Thanks, Ruth. Thanks so very much. And Ruth, I'm kind of fun to do this one. As you know, I love to go to, we've had the good fortune to go to France, and we love having nice light meals over there. So one of the things I always enjoyed was quiche. And while I love to cook and do pastries and all that stuff, you know, sometimes it's awful busy around here, even though we're retired. So my good friend Susan taught me her recipes for a crustless quiche. That's really simple to do, and I wanted to share that with you today. So the first thing we do is start off with a quiche pan, and we will have recipes for different size quiche pans, but I'll tell you, the 6-inch quiche pan is just enough for 2 people. And you may want to make it a little bit larger at some point. And what I've thought about doing too is making an extra one and a smaller one, then you have one for lunch tomorrow. And by the way, this, if you're just 6-inch, you can put half of it in the refrigerator and it keeps very well, and eat it at room temperature. It's delicious that way. So the first thing we want to do is turn the oven on to 400, which I've already done, and make sure it gets nicely preheated. But we need to grease the pan. And for the most part, you use a spray. But if you don't tell anybody at the medical center, we're going to use some French butter today, because I'm thinking about the last one I had in France. So there we go. We've got that done now. The second thing we would do would be to grate our cheese. And it calls for 3 ounces of Swiss cheese. The Gruyere cheese, which is their Swiss cheese, has an incredibly good flavor. If you want to spend just a little extra money, this is the cheese to get. Or use the cheese you like and experiment. Anything you want to try is fine for this recipe. So I've already gone ahead to save some time here, and I've grated 3 ounces of the cheese. I happen to use this grater. Box grater works, any kind of grater you want. Or simpler yet, just buy it already grated at the Publix. So now we have our cheese, okay? And now we got to get our eggs. So for today's recipe, I'm using 3 eggs and 2/3 of a cup of whole milk. Okay, and we'll whisk this together. I like to whisk it a little bit to get as much air in as I can possible, because then it'll rise up nicely in the oven, we hope. Okay, now we're going to simply put this together. And I should say that you want 1 cup of a filling if you want to. Depends what you got around the house. If you just want to make a quick one with cheese and eggs, that's fine too. I happen to have some leftover asparagus from last night. If you want to make a quiche Lorraine, you put some onion and bacon in it. But I didn't have time to cook any bacon today. So tomatoes, we like things mild. You can put anything you want. And what they teach at France is, this is just kind of like for your leftovers. So we're going to put our 3 ounces of cheese right here in our pan. We'll spread our asparagus. And we just pour our egg mixture right over. And there we are. And one little secret, when I've cooked at Ruth's house, her oven is sparkling clean. And with any of these kind of dishes, you always kind of worry that they might spill. So I'm a huge fan of putting any of these kind of dishes on a tray, because I sure don't want to set off the smoke alarm here either at Shell Point. So now we're just going to pop this in the oven for 35 minutes and we'll see what we got. We'll set our alarm and we're ready to go. Okay, here we go. There she is. It does call for us to wait a minute or two, but Ruth, I don't know about you, but I'm hungry.
It's beautiful. That looks perfect. Yeah.
So it's sort of like a pecan pie. You put the pecans in
Oh,
and they kind of rise up
yeah,
and everything works out fine.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so my wife is the plating artist, and I thought there was a couple ways to serve this to you, Ruth. One would be, which is what we always seem to have in France, is some greens. And we kind of, our friends turned us on to this mosh blend. And it's just, you never tasted it before. It's a unique flavor.
Huh.
And they have that at both Fresh Market and Publix.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and this is my secret sweet recipe for
That you've made over
dressing.
there.
Put some dressing on it. Just a little dressing. And some olives.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. We have to feed you nicely, Ruth. Okay, so as much as I like the crust, this makes it a lot easier for a quick little dinner, lunch, dinner, or whatever.
Now the first piece is the hardest to get out. Always.
Well, if we wait a few minutes,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Perfect.
there you go. And as you know, we'll decorate the plate a little bit for you here.
That's what I'm learning from David.
No. I
He does
learned
a
this from my
beautiful
wife,
job.
Margie.
Well, he
So
makes the plate
that's
look
one way
beautiful.
to do it. Then another way we were brainstorming would be with slice of tomato. We'll go to the utilitarian one here again.
You made it. There you go.
But then a little decoration here too. And I put parsley on a lot of things. It really does bring out a nice little flavor to things.
Sure.
And the final thing for you, your own little rose.
Oh, isn't
So,
that beautiful?
There you
Look
have
at
it,
that.
huh?
Yeah.
Just a couple ways to serve.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, David, you've done it again.
No.
You always have unique things for
Hey.
us, and I'm sure that folks will want to try that. And as you said, you were going to talk about the different size of the quiche pans, right?
Yes, I'll have recipes for you for different size quiche
Okay.
pans.
All
And
right.
you know, for that matter, you can make this in a pie pan too.
Oh, sure.
So, in any kind of pan. So,
But it's more fun if you have the right pan.
Yeah, it's more French. So I have to say bon appetit since I'm thinking of France today.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching us, and we'll see you again. I'll put the recipe up on the website. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
It's time to dust off those aerobic pants or exercise wear and head to the Island Fitness Center for Zumba. It's fun and energetic way to stay in shape, get your blood circulating and your body moving. Let's see what Ingrid Oliver has to say about the upcoming classes.
Hi everyone, I'm Coach Iggy and I'm here to talk to you about Zumba Gold Fitness. It is a wonderful class in which you do lots and lots of dancing from songs all over the world. And it's wonderful because you finish your entire workout without knowing you did work out. It's so much fun. If you do not know how to dance, or you've never danced before, or you just have that nostalgia of having danced a long time ago and you're a little afraid about coming, fear not. I will definitely teach you anything you want to know from total scratch, and we build from there as we're dancing each song. Little by little over the weeks, you'll feel like you recognize the songs, you know what you're doing, you'll just let loose and feel a great workout that lets you release your stress and have lots of fun with all your friends. It's 45 minutes, it's 12:45 to 1:30 every Monday or Friday. If you just didn't get enough on a Monday, sign up for Fridays as well. You are allowed to take both if you'd like, and I'd love to have you. Please come and enjoy so much fun with our shaking and wiggling into fitness.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hello, welcome to the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley.
And I'm Dora Robbins.
And we're going to tell you the activities we have lined up for you here today. We're going to start with a 7:45 men's Bible study that's held in the Osprey room on the island. Men's round-robin tennis will be at the Woodlands tennis courts at 8 o'clock. Also, we have pickleball at 8 o'clock down at the game courts behind the Resident Activities Center. Lillian Company Jewelers will be here for their weekly jewelry service at 8:45. That's at the Resident Activities Center as well. Jurassic Travel will be in the Ingrid room from 9 to 12 to help you with any personal travel needs that you have. Also at 9 o'clock we have the Watercolor group with Phil Hilton, and that's down in the Tunnel Art Studio. The card making and scrapbooking group will be in the Tarpon room at 9:15. At 10 o'clock, the ladies' Bible study will be in the Osprey room on the island. Men's match play tennis will be at the tennis courts at 10 o'clock. And at 10:15, the Model Yacht Sailing Club will be sailing their boats at the Woodlands Commons Lake. Our final activity for the morning is a 10:30 Fine Mark Investment Roundtable. That'll be at the Oak Room of the Woodlands. Dora, what's going on this afternoon?
This afternoon we're going to start out at 1 o'clock with chess, and that's at the Library Lounge at the Rack. At 1:45 we have Balance and Mobility Advanced, and that's going to be at the Health Club on the island. Sign up is required. Finally, New Breakthrough Hearing Aid Technology. That's at 2:15 at the Social Center. Sign up is required. At 2:30 we have Jazz and Stuff at the Grand Cypress at the Woodlands. We have Pilates Stretch at 3 o'clock at the Health Club on the island. And at 4:30 we have Indoor Bocce, and that's at the Health Club on the island. At 5 o'clock we have Singles Table at the Crystal Dining Room. At 5:45 we have Church Choir. That's at the choir room at the church. Our last activity for today is at 7:15, and it's Prayer and Praise at the Village Church. That's it for today, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Terry Colath with your Academy information for Wednesday, the 28th of September. At 10 o'clock, we have a biblical view of church and state in the Grand Cypress room of the Woodlands with Pastor Andy Hawkins. You can sign up right at the door. At 1 o'clock, we have Intermediate Bridge continuing in the game room of the island. I'd like to tell you about our new class coming tomorrow. It's Academy on the Go #2, and we're taking a Florida-style adventure at Billie Swamp Safari.
Menus for Wednesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is turkey a la king, served with fried green beans and buttered rice. For dinner, you can choose from their a la carte menu, and the soup of the day is lima bean. In the Island Cafe, the sandwich special is a grilled chicken fajita with beans and rice for $7.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, I'm Randy Woods, and it's my privilege to serve here as the Minister of Worship and Music at the Village Church. And today, it's a privilege to come before you and tell you about the 2016-2017 Season of Praise, which is a series of inspirational concerts hosted here at the Village Church. We begin this year with a festive chorus, an orchestra, brass, and drama highlighting the 2016-17 Season of Praise. The season is about to begin as we celebrate God's continuing work of renewing and refreshing His people. As in the past, the inspirational concerts and worship celebrations are part of the ongoing ministry of the Village Church. As residents and friends join together each week for worship services, the opportunities to grow in the grace and knowledge of our Lord abound and provide spiritual renewal and refreshment. Again this year, the Village Church will host a mixture of inspirational worship experiences highlighted by the concerts in the 2016-17 Season of Praise concert series. It's a great joy for us as a church to present and to partner with the guest artists to encourage and inspire us with their artistic expressions of their faith. This year, the financial resources needed to support this ministry have increased significantly, as it has been doing in recent years. And we're delighted that this year, the Alliance Development Fund has offered to partner with the Village Church to subsidize the concert series so that there will not be an increase in the cost of tickets. The Alliance Development Fund's purpose is to provide Alliance churches access to affordable financing to construct, expand, remodel facilities that support the church growth and changing ministry needs. The Alliance Development Fund's partnership with the Village Church has a similar outcome by providing funding so that the concert series can continue to encourage and inspire everyone through the ministry of sacred song. This partnership is greatly appreciated, and it's a joy for our congregation to associate with the Alliance Development Fund, along with our church family, friends, and the community. The concert series will begin on Sunday, November 13th, with the Fort Myers Symphonic Mastersingers Chamber Chorus and the debut of the Mastersingers City of Palms Youth Choir, presenting a festive celebration of sacred songs. These select ensembles of singers enjoy a reputation for musical excellence and are all dedicated to the performance of significant choral works as well as innovative programs. Since forming in 2001, the Mastersingers have grown from a small chorus to an 80-plus voice ensemble of men, women, and youth. Under the baton of Jeff Fox and Matt Kohler, this diverse group of vocal musicians represent all walks of life: doctors, lawyers, homemakers, nurses, businessmen and women, music educators, musicians, retirees, and talented students from our city. This Christmas, the joy of the season will resonate throughout the church sanctuary as our own 100 voices of the Village Church Choir, along with the Celebration Ringers and the Southwest Florida Symphony's Festival Orchestra, present a Christmas celebration on Sunday, December 11th. This special, very festive program will feature Hal Hobson's classic arrangements, interwoven through a service of lessons and carols, addressing the major theme of God's love for us and culminating in an uplifting celebration of the joy of the season. You will not want to miss the Christmas celebration this year. As in the past, again this year, Tim Zimmerman and the King's Brass will begin the new year with an inspirational concert on Sunday, January 8th, 2017. As always, their concert will include classic hymn arrangements with a contemporary flair. The King's Brass features 3 trumpets, 3 trombones, a tuba, percussion, and keyboards. These instruments blend together to create a time of innovative worship that will be enjoyed by everyone. Secular and sacred music critics alike applaud Tim Zimmerman and the King's Brass for their concerts as being superb in every way and innovative. Everyone says they're well played and present a truly unforgettable experience. In February, the art of dance and drama will take the stage as on Thursday, February 2nd, we will welcome Ballet Magnificat as they present Deliver Us. Deliver Us is the most popular and longest touring ballet presentation that Ballet Magnificat has done. This riveting story will jump off the stage and into your life. Under the blazing Egyptian sun, within the shadows of the pyramids, the enslaved Jewish people cry out for a deliverer. One man, Moses, challenges Pharaoh and leads the people to freedom. This is a vivid, prophetic picture pointing to the Easter story and God's love for all people. In March, we have the opportunity to present a program that, as the critics say, it's refreshingly different. It's a dramatic presentation of Wardrobes and Rings. This is an evening with C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien. This will be presented on Sunday, March 12th. C.S. Lewis, as you know, is the author of The Chronicles of Narnia, and J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings. Both Lewis and Tolkien were members, distinguished faculty members at Oxford University and participants in the literary group known as the Inklings. Their robust philosophical discourse served as an uncommon friendship that was not without its differences. Life circumstances and sometimes unsolved and unresolved disagreements forced an uncomfortable season of estrangement between these two men. In Wardrobes and Rings, we will join Jack and Tollers, as they knew each other, at Oxford's historic Eagle and Child pub for one last visit, tempered by thawing humor, confession, and reconciliation. These are remarkable lives and will be presented in memorable theater. Be sure to join us for this special dramatic presentation. And then in April, we will conclude with our Easter celebration, and on Sunday, Easter Sunday, April 16th, that morning worship service celebration will include internationally acclaimed tenor soloist Stuart Neill. His singing has been hailed by critics as stunning, virtuoso, fiery, and astonishing, all for the glory of God. Through his successful performances in the world's finest opera houses and concert halls with leading conductors and orchestra, Stuart Neill has established himself as one of the most important tenors in the classical singing world. In the evening, his concert of praise will feature Stuart singing classic hymns, sacred arias, and art songs. It will be a very spectacular celebration of the joy of Easter expressed in song. The Village Church is pleased to again present this inspirational Season of Praise concert series, and we sincerely appreciate the financial support that the Alliance Development Fund provides, which allows us to keep the price of tickets at a minimal cost. All concerts require the purchase of a non-refundable $10 ticket, and tickets will be available at the church office beginning Monday, October 3rd, and are also available at our website, www.shellpoint.org, Season of Praise. For more information, don't hesitate. Call us at the church office, 239-454-2147. It's going to be a wonderful concert series, the Season of Praise. Be sure to get your tickets and join us as we celebrate God's goodness throughout this season and into the new year.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of Shell Point Today for Wednesday, September 28th. On tomorrow's show, Rita Southern will talk about the Fall Assisted Living Tea and Tours, and we'll hear more from fitness supervisor Hannah Husterman about the upcoming fitness classes. For Shell Point Today, I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.